Hello, 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 Ramley and other family, especially 49ers family. Great to have you with us tonight, whether you're watching with me live right now or on the replay. We have a very special guest here today. I'll let him introduce himself momentarily, but I want you to know, for both Rams and Niners fans, this is a week to talk football. This is a week to rejoice, to celebrate. Our teams are in the conference finals. We can, we can enjoy what's to come. We can have expectations for our teams. There's going to be a winner. There's going to be a loser, but I'm all for it because that's what football is all about. I am excited to have my guest with me today, and we are going to bring him out right after this short intro.
Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Thanks for having me on, Payo Time.
I love it, man. Dude, we are here. We are live talking football, coast to coast, country to country, Rams to Niners, the rivalry of I think this has been the best rivalry this year. It really has, this in the entire NFL. The fact that we get to meet in the conference finals is flabbergasting. So you know what, Jay? We're going to talk through both of our games and things like that. But let's start with walk me through and our viewers through. And viewers, if you're watching, we'll try our best. Me and Jay we love talking with the chat, so we're going to talk to each other. We're definitely going to talk to you as well. Get those questions, navigate that. But Jay, start. Let me know what was your experience during that cold Packers game? The Niners waltzed into Lambeau and took home the dub.
Well, first, let me say, Payo Time and Ramley, it's a pleasure to be on your platform tonight. It's the return of the NFC West clash of the Rams and 49ers. And kudos to you, Payo Time, for all your success with YouTube. Your watch parties are, definitely bringing a lot of viewers. So shout out to you, man. Keep putting up that good content. Okay. But man, I was on pins and needles the whole game, Payo.
Yeah, you were.
Man, I mean, it was tough to watch at times because our offense couldn't really get anything together. We couldn't really move the ball that much. Yeah, there were some drop passes in the game. There were some fumbles. But yeah, that's what football in the snow is about, in that freezing below temperature. I'm just glad we were able to get a win. Kudos to the defense and the special teams. They really came through for us. And we were able to make just a few big offensive plays that put us in position for that game-winning field goal at the end. And we held Aaron Rodgers to only, 10 points in the game? I mean, that's incredible. Crazy. In Lambeau Field. If someone was watching that game and they didn't know who the home team was, I think some people would say that the Niners were the home team. I think we dealt with the elements better than the Packers did. So,
yeah, well, you're built for it, absolutely. And Jay, I got ahead of myself. I was just so excited to talk to you about football. But Jay is one of my favorite YouTubers. I've learned a lot from his channel, and I'm excited to continue to see your channel grow. And anyone watching this, whether you're a Rams fan, Niners fan, or whatever, if you are a football fan, you got to subscribe to Jay in the Bay, and the channel link. I see Grandizier 12, moderator extraordinaire, put it in the chat, but it is also in the link in the description below if you're looking for it. Jay, I know you're all about them comments, so we gotta give some shout outs here. And I think some of these people. We got Rams House in the house.
What's
saying we stop the run, we win. That's simple. I hope it's that simple.
Yeah.
But that's not a simple thing to do against the Niners.
That's going to be very difficult to do.
Yeah, my house. He's hoping the Rams. Grandizier, once again, moderator extraordinaire, Love Greatest Year 12. Hilltop Sasquatch fan page. Ooh, changing the name a little bit there. I like it. Okay. Yeah, Eric Wells. We got Ben here. He has the Rams and Bengals in the Super Bowl. Oh, I'd be okay with that matchup. I don't think Jay would like that matchup. Funny. All right, we are going to get into this here. But so, Jay, I have to talk to you a little bit about my experience with the Packers-Niners game. So here is my dilemma. And I had told you this. We had messaged about this after the Niners beat the Rams. Immediately, I'm like, I want to play the Niners in the playoffs. I want a rematch. And it's not that I think, like, I'm not pulling a Joe Namath or anything. I'm not guaranteeing a win. No, the game has to be played. I do think this Rams team is talented. I do think they can beat the Niners. However, the Niners have clearly had their number. I, as a Rams fan, though, I don't want to go another offseason with the Niners holding this. We beat you 6 in a row, and I really hope they don't make it 7 in a row in the playoffs. I really like that. Would just that'd be a whole nother level that I don't want as a Rams fan. So you know, I've had some Niners fans come on my videos and trash talk in the comments a bit, and I'm like, if you really talk to me, you'll know I'm not one of those guaranteeing win or anything. Just as a fan, I want to celebrate that. But here was my conundrum. I either wanted the Niners to win, so the relay they would get. I also really epic planned if the Packers won. And you know I'm Canadian. I live in a place with a lot of snow. I had this video planned out. There was going to be like me giving the Rams players tips for playing in the snow. And I was going to go in the snow. I was going to film this, like doing diving catches, get snow on my beard and everything. But the Niners ruined it. I have no reason to make that video now. Quick shout out here, Blue Tree. Thank you for that super chat. You're so kind, my friend. $10 super chat. Wow, that is so cool. Thank you. Awesome. But anyway, I guess I will have to not make that video or save it for next year or something like that.
Absolutely.
But talk to me, Jay, about so you're on pins and needles. Robbie Gould, he has the kick of his life that sends them into the NFC Championship game. And then, like, did you just relax? Like, I'm assuming you watched the games as much as you could, or like, did you watch the game Sunday? Or
absolutely, yeah, I watched every play. Sometimes it's hard to sit and watch the game. Sometimes I pace and watch the game, but I gotta be totally honest with you, Peo. My faith was definitely tested throughout this whole regular season. Yeah. At one point in time, the Niners had lost 4 straight games. There was a lot of fodder about, fire Shanahan, fire Lynch. When football teams lose games, everyone deserves to get fired. You know how it is, Peo. But man, I love how Shanahan rallied the players. The players are still fighting, and this is the reason why we're in the playoffs. But honestly, I'm surprised we're in the playoffs at this point. But that goes to what we did in the regular season. We had big wins, specifically 2 against your LA Rams, and several other victories that propelled us into the playoffs. But yeah, that was a tough game to watch. The defense was huge in that game. The amount of pressure we were able to get on Rodgers, he didn't really feel comfortable. I mean, he only really threw to 2 guys, Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones. I mean, that was pretty much it. And this, our special teams has been terrible all year, and we lucked up and faced a team that had worse special teams.
Yeah.
Because we got the block punt, the block field goal, and those definitely propelled this team to go to the next round. That's for sure. So,
that's you know what? I think when they blocked that field goal, that was the moment where I was like, the Packers are actually breaking down right now. Like this is a collapse.
Yes.
Pull this out. Yeah. Definitely a turning point in the game. And so like I love the internet. I really do. It's a dangerous place, but it's a beautiful place. And I wish I could find. I should have screenshotted this. I saw someone Rams fan. He had like the conspiracy gif or whatever. He's like, this was McVay's plan all along. He knew the Saints, and the Eagles couldn't take on the Packers in Lambeau, and he didn't want to go to Lambeau, so he made sure the Niners made the playoffs by losing the 17-point lead. And it's just so funny to hear fans like talk about that. Obviously, it's a joke, but I think that I've really enjoyed this season. Doing this YouTube thing during the season has added a lot of experience. Also, just getting there is this community around NFC West, but also just football in general. But you mentioned there were question marks about Shannon. You think those question marks are still here, or is his job pretty safe?
Oh, his job is pretty safe. He had signed a contract extension, Kyle Shanahan did, and John Lynch, I believe, a year or two ago. So they're both with the team, I believe, until at least 2024, 2025. So I never thought that they would be fired. I just thought that, Jed York, the owner, he's going to stay the course and stick with Shanahan because we know what Shanahan can do. He's a mastermind, with the offensive playbook, with the play designer and play calling. He's one of the best in the league. We were just having a really down year. We had several injuries earlier on in the season, but I really didn't think that Jed York would pull the trigger and fire Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan would get a job like that, if he was fired. Yeah. So I didn't really think that was a possibility. I just thought maybe, Shanahan, maybe less responsibility would be better for Shanahan. Maybe because he does have control over the 53-man active roster. He also has some say in the draft process. And I thought, hey, maybe we should lessen his responsibilities, just focus strictly on play calling, leading the team, and play designing. I thought that might be better. But, hey, this team is in the playoffs, one of 4 teams left, and, one more win could get us into the Super Bowl. It's like, where did this come from? And with Jimmy G under center.
Oh man, and it's funny. I enjoy listening to Rich Eisen on Overreaction Monday. His segment. He said one of the things he talked about was, did the Niners waste draft picks trading to get Trey Lance? And obviously, it's way too early to actually say that he's not a bust or anything like that. But do you think there's a chance that maybe we see some trickery from Kyle Shanahan and see some Trey Lance in this game?
No, I don't think we'll see Trey Lance unless Jimmy G gets hurt and Trey Lance has to come in to relieve Jimmy G. I don't think there's any way Trey Lance enters this game. Shanahan, he's riding with Jimmy G. Shanahan trusts Jimmy. Jimmy has quarterbacked this team, I believe, at least 51 times. And Shanahan is very comfortable with Jimmy. And I think it's definitely too early to say that, trading up for Trey Lance is a bust.
Yeah.
I would say that the reason why we traded up for Trey Lance is because Jimmy G is availability. He was either hurt or, that one perfect year we went to the Super Bowl. So that's the reason why we traded up those draft picks to get Trey Lance, because we couldn't rely on Jimmy's availability to stay healthy. And also he's just an inconsistent quarterback. Yep. Some days he could be a top 10, top 12 quarterback. And other days he could be, I wouldn't say one of the worst, but just not a franchise quarterback. And in a division with Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and now Matt Stafford, we needed to, elevate, the quarterback room. And I think we did that with Trey Lance. And one great thing for the 49ers team is we can win games and Jimmy doesn't have to be the best player in red and gold on the field.
Yeah.
I think we've seen that several times throughout the season, multiple times throughout the season. We're relying on, Deebo Samuel, Elijah Mitchell, the running game, and of course, one of the most fiercest defense. Matt Stafford, he know about this defense. He's seen it twice already, so we're definitely relying on those two to propel us to the next round of the playoffs.
Yeah, hey, and that's not a bad thing to rely on at all. Speaking of Matt Stafford, let me, I want break down the NFC divisional round from a Rams fan perspective.
Okay.
So we start off the game. Starts off with a field goal, and we're like, okay, take a field goal. We don't want to settle for a field goal every time, but like, we have they drove first, and we forced the punt, got the 3 points, and then we got a touchdown. We're up 10. Okay, we're like, okay, 10, that's cool, and slowly but surely we get up, and we're up 27-3, and in my mind I was still like, and I was doing the watch party. My chat was blowing up of like, we're good. And then there's all fans that are like, we're not. It's Brady. Like, he's the GOAT. He's done this before. Like, and everyone starts bringing up the Falcons 28-3 or something. And they're like, it's 27-3, not 28. And then what I can only describe, it was what I call fumble fest happened. Where we had Akers with his 2 fumbles. Cup had a like, just almost came out of nowhere, and I generally like had a hard time doing the play call during the watch party, because inside I'm just like, please don't be part of Tom Brady's resume. One of those games that they're going to talk about in the documentary about Tom Brady's life and things like that. I like, please don't be that game. And when they tied up that game, I was on full, like, we just need, like, because there was a minute, like 3 seconds left. Rams had, I believe, 2 timeouts at that point. And it was just like, we just need to get into field goal range. And I'm like, I know Matt Gay missed one earlier, and I know Akers fumbled one. And then on that last drive, Stafford kind of fumbled it, and thankfully he recovered it.
Yeah.
My heart, almost gave out. And then when Cooper Kupp catches the ball and goes out of bounds for the first down, and you're like, okay, I love Cooper Kupp. I love him. And then when they called the all-out blitz and a safety had to pick up Cooper Kupp because there was no DB on him, as soon as that ball was in the air, before Kupp had caught it, I'm like, he's going to catch that. And he caught, and I went nuts. And it was an emotional, crazy finish. Clearly, it was a chip shot field goal that Matt Gay just kind of put up, and it wasn't much of a challenge for him to get it off. And we were able to beat Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which would bring us to face the division rival. And so, Jay, I know you love the story, you love the narrative, as of do I. So I thought it'd be fun if we compare it from a Rams fan perspective and a Niners fan perspective. What's the story coming into this game for your team?
For my team, I think we've been talking about, this is the 3rd time we faced the Rams. And I think that's what the fans are talking about. Hopefully the players are looking at this like this is one game away from the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. We have to treat them like we haven't played them all year.
Yeah.
But these 2 teams know each other really well. Obviously, both coaching staff know each other. We know what the other team wants to do. I think it's just going to come down to who can have the least amount of turnovers, least amount of penalties, who can play disciplined football, and who can win on 3rd down. I think it's really going to come down to those 3 things. It's pretty rare for a team to beat another team 3 times in one season. It's pretty rare for that to happen. I know it's happened before, but it's pretty rare. But we're up for the challenge. I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. The Rams are a very talented team. But I think in order for the Rams to win this game, I think Matt Stafford is going to have to be the best player on the field for the Rams, at least on offense. And the 2 games he's played us, I think he's fell short. He's turned over the ball multiple times. And if we get that Matt Stafford, I think it'll definitely increase our chances of winning this game.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm hopeful that, Stafford can show up and ball out. This is why we made the trade, right?
Yeah.
That's why we made the trade for this, right? And from a Ram fan's perspective, the narrative is a little bit different. Okay, we've fought tooth and nail all season. We kind of surprisingly won the division, which because we were trailing the Cardinals all season long, and then on the last couple weeks we were able to get control of the division, and then we still won the division even though we lost the final week of the season to the Niners. And it was one of those things that you come into the playoffs, and I remember people like lighting up my chat and my comment section saying, okay, there's no way the Rams are beating the Cardinals this time. No way. Well, they spanked them. Like they put it to them, right? And then the next week came, and I'm doing my vlog. I do a countdown every day while the playoffs. People are like, there's no way they beat the Bucs. There's no way. Well, here we are. They beat. And already today I posted one, and I had a Niners fan comment, and he's like, you're gonna be crying, and I'm like, all right, like this is the thing about when you put yourself on YouTube and this you say your fandom, you get this, right? But all these comments and stuff just kind of for me channels this like, okay, the Rams are at this like breakthrough moment where we need to overcome our greatest adversary, 49ers. They've beat 6 straight. Sean McVay has not proven that he can take on Kyle Shanahan. He's been outcoached by him numerous times. And it's kind of the little taint on Sean McVay's resume right now is he hasn't won a Super Bowl and he keeps losing to Kyle Shanahan. And so this is that chance to do that. Then there's the Stafford storyline in there because first off, like how crazy it is, like as a football fan, how crazy is it that 1 year removed from Detroit and Matt Stafford's in the conference finals? Anyway, I digress.
Well, I would say, Matt Stafford is definitely on, a much better team. That's for sure. As far as coaching, management, players on both sides of the ball, Matt Stafford is definitely on, one of the best teams of his career. And you guys added a lot of talent to your team. And yeah, man, I can't wait. It's going to be an interesting matchup. The third time could be a charm for the Rams.
I hope so.
But yeah, you're hoping. We shall see, though. We shall see. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What's going to be different in this game? The first 2 games, the Niners have been able to run the ball.
Yeah.
We've been able to, pressure Matt Stafford. He doesn't like pressure. He throws the ball a little bit sooner than he wants to. I think we'll be healthier this game. Trent Williams, the big silverback, best left tackle in the NFL. He didn't play in the last game against the Rams, and he should be ready to go. Also, one of our other linebackers, Azeez, he didn't play in the game week 18. So I'm just curious. I know some Rams fans, I'll talk to a few Rams fans, they say, hey, we want this. We want to play the Niners again.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, well, what's going to change, in between the lines? What do you think is going to what didn't happen the first 2 meetings that's going to happen today that will tip the scale in the Rams' favor? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. I really think the things that come to mind off the top of my head. Number one is execution. I think that the Rams are executing at a high level right now. And if you take again, the fumbles happened last game, and hopefully they don't happen again. But if the Rams don't fumble that, there's a chance the Rams were rolling on offense against the Bucs, right? And even they punted the ball twice, or no, 4 times, but all of Hecker was punting it really well. That the field possession game was won by the Rams convincingly. I think the biggest I think so, execution for sure. But I would also say I really think that if Raheem Morris can, watch the tape, can really devise a defensive scheme that's different for this 49ers team, I think that can be the difference maker there. But yeah, I'm hoping something's different. You're right. I know some Ram fans who are like, no, why the Niners? I didn't want to face them. Why?
Yeah.
Why them? Right. And so it's kind of a, divided the fan base in a fun way, I guess. But I want to give a couple shout outs here. Mr. Summer, good to see you. We got Coach Dante in the house. Got Louis Osa here. Don't panic. Any given Sunday. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bradley's here. Awesome. Finesse Foreign. Awesome. So then there's a question for you here, Jay, from Grandazir 12, mod extraordinaire. Two in the bank. 3 keys to winning the game versus the Rams. Pale, what are 3 keys to winning the game versus the Niners?
3 keys. All right. So the first key, got to establish the run. And the way we do that is we got to punch the Rams in the mouth at the line of scrimmage. We've been able to do that. We've been able to have success at that. You guys are going to get a heavy dose of Debo. It doesn't matter if you hide the chain because Debo's going to find it. It doesn't matter. You got to worry about Elijah Mitchell. So that's the first step. That's the first key is the running game. Mm-hmm. Also, the second key, I think we got to make sure Stafford isn't comfortable in the pocket. The Rams, to their credit, they got up to a 17-0 lead, in the second game. And I was in LA. And we were able to come back, but Stafford looked very comfortable in the first half, but it was a stark difference in the second half. And I have to give credit to DeMeco Ryans because he's very good at making adjustments. You look at the Packers game, the first drive, Packers went down the field, they made it look easy, and they didn't see the end zone for the rest of the game.
Yep.
So DeMeco Ryans, credit to him, but that's the second key. Make Stafford feel uncomfortable in the pocket, and he doesn't like to get pressured. And I think the third key would be we just got to play disciplined football. So we can't beat ourselves with turnovers and penalties. So those are my 3 keys.
Okay. Yeah. And I would say for the Rams, if the Rams could actually run the ball against this Niners defense, I think that's the Niners' worst nightmare there. We know the Rams have a pass-happy offense, even though they always seem to try to be this power running team. In some games they pull it off, where other games, literally the game just wasn't going there. And Stafford had to air it out, and he did great. But I think if Stafford can take advantage of his weapons, not just in the passing game but the run game as well, we do have a chance to have our actual whole running back core for once, because Darrell Henderson has a chance of playing this game, which is really exciting. So we'll have Sony Michel, Cam Akers, and Darrell Henderson, which is crazy to think that was supposed to be we were supposed to have this monster of Henderson and Akers at the start of the season, but then injuries happen, and all about that injuries at the running back position as a Niners fan. But so it's interesting to have them all back. We are getting our left tackle back, Andrew Whitworth, which excited about that. Even though Joseph Noteboom played well, for him last game. And then the other player that we're getting back he's been in concussion protocol, but it sounds like we're getting our starting safety Taylor Rapp back. And so having that, it's good to be healthy, right? Anyway, so definitely running the ball would be a key for winning to the Rams. I guess the term is balanced offense.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say we need a defensive player to make a play. It might be Vaughn, it might be Donald, it might be Floyd, it might be Ramsey. We need someone to make a play and to turn the tide of this game. The Rams defense is, statistically a top 10 defense, but situationally they do mess up at times, but other times they take the game over. So it's really important there. I would say the third one is, as you say, you talk about Matt Stafford. I think we got to make Jimmy G try and win this game for the Niners and make Niners fans so nervous. And you know, that's the hope. Shout out here, 49ers First Take. Aaron, this is so kind of you. I caught the end of your stream just before we went live here, but huge fan of you, Aaron, 49ers First Take. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. That's the most super chats I've ever gotten in one stream. Wow, that's amazing.
That's good first takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because obviously, you know, most people would say that Matt Stafford is the better quarterback than Jimmy G. Jimmy G's had more playoff success.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, you know, he can make some throws. It's just, and actually against the Packers, he didn't play bad. Actually, some of his receivers dropped some balls.
Yeah.
But with Jimmy, you know, he's going to have some Jimmy oh no throws, unfortunately. Hopefully we won't have too many. And he's good for an interception a game. But you know, what's most important, his teammates. And yeah, some people say, well, what are their teammates supposed to say? Of course, they're going to support the starting quarterback, but I think they believe it. They believe in Jimmy G. He's not Tom Brady, he's not Pat Mahomes, but they believe in Jimmy G. He's a tough guy. He takes hits. He's playing with a sprained shoulder and a bum thumb. So, you know, Jimmy G wants it. No, he's not a franchise quarterback, at least not for the Niners. But on Sunday, he will give us the best chance to win. And he plays well against the Rams.
He does. That he does. For whatever reason. I saw a Niners fan once, like on Twitter, and he was just like, I wish Jimmy G played every game like he was playing the Rams. Oh.
And another key obviously will be Shanahan and McVay, right? One thing I think that's great about Shanahan he doesn't allow, well, first he knows the Rams' weaknesses, and he doesn't allow your best players to really make a huge impact on the game. Like Aaron Donald, we know he's a generational Hall of Fame defensive tackle, one of the best defensive players to ever play the game. He usually doesn't have a huge impact against the Niners. He, you know, for whatever reason, Shanahan knows how to scheme away from Donald. You know, Brunskill, that's his 3 games where he shows up and he wants to play the best he can play. And he does an excellent job on blocking on Aaron Donald. I know you guys got Von Miller and Floyd on the edge. And Von Miller had an excellent game last week against the Bucs. So we'll definitely have, I think that could be a matchup. Compton versus Von Miller. Clearly Von Miller's the better player. So that could be something to watch out for. We can't allow Von Miller to take over a game. And Jalen Ramsey, I know you guys move him all around the defensive formation, but he usually doesn't have a huge game against the Niners. And I just think Shanahan, that's another underrated thing about this rivalry. We know each other well. Shanahan knows how to exploit the Rams' weaknesses. And that's something you can't really account for in a point spread, right? Like it's just, you know, it's almost like throw out the records, throw out the stats. What do you guys do on third? It doesn't matter. Like at this point, it's just whoever's the best team on Sunday. And these teams know each other so well. So, you know, we'll see, you know, best team will win.
And you're right on there is it really doesn't matter that the Niners have beaten the Rams 6 straight. It doesn't matter that the Rams won the division and the Niners got the wild card. They're both in the championship game, and it's whoever wins. Loses, done, right? And I see he's like the hype is sweet. It's gonna be intense, and that's something I'm really trying to enjoy as a fan myself this week. Is just, you know, it's not every year that your team is in the conference finals,
right?
And for one of these teams, they're gonna go to the Super Bowl, and I hope that, you know, obviously I hope it's my team, but even if it is the Niners, I hope you and the Niners fandom can just enjoy that and can celebrate that, because you don't know, right? You know, when your team is going to have that again. And you look at, you know, some of these teams, you know, the Bucs, the questions around Tom Brady, the Packers question around Aaron Rodgers, you know, every year that, you know, your team goes on a run like this, you know, you're going to lose players to free agency or they get cut, or you have new players drafted to replace them in trades and stuff. Right. And, you know, especially when you have a prolonged season like this where you follow them and you watch every game, it's cool. It's cool.
No, absolutely. And there could be history made in this game, I believe, because the Buccaneers they went to the Super Bowl and it was actually in their stadium and they won the Super Bowl. So the Rams have an opportunity to at least get to the Super Bowl this year, and it would be in their home stadium. So that's something else that's a interesting caveat to this game. So
I don't envy the event staff of SoFi Stadium who have to prepare for a conference final and then the Super Bowl right afterwards.
Wow, yeah,
that's gonna be a lot of work for those hardworking people that go unnoticed.
Absolutely.
Shout out here to Niners Sickness. I know I got to collab with him at some point this week. It was funny. Literally, like moments after the game yesterday with the Rams, I had you messaged me, Niners Sickness. I had Ultimate Report message me, and I'm like, I want to collab, but I'm too hyped right now. I can't focus on scheduling or anything. I had to enjoy the win in the moment. glad we got this time to collab together.
Absolutely, man.
I am curious. So little question for you, and you and I have collab before, and you've had me on your channel, you've been on my channel, and I appreciate what you hear. But I would like to ask you this. What has being a YouTuber and being like that covers the Niners, what has that added to the fan experience for you watching the game or even during the week leading up to the game?
I would say I definitely can't watch the other games. That's something that's kind of I didn't realize that going in because I normally watch every game. There's a morning game, afternoon game, night game. Now I can really only watch the Niners game because during the game, I'm taking notes. I'm writing down things that stood out to me during the game. Then after the game, I'm getting ready for the stream later that night or during the few times this year, I had to get ready for the umbrella, so fortunately I haven't had to make one of those videos in quite a while. So, hey, let's keep that trend going. But yeah, man, it's added a lot. It's added a lot to the fan experience, the YouTuber experience. I'm always thinking of ideas for different videos. I live maybe like 2-3 hours away from the stadium. So sometimes I'm like, hey, let's go down, take some shots, take some pictures, maybe do a live stream down at the stadium. So it's definitely a cool experience. I wish I would have started sooner, but certain circumstances definitely kick-started that due to the amount of time on my hands. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. But yeah, man, I wish I would have started a lot sooner, but I'm grateful that I have a small following, and hopefully that will continue to grow, man, because I want to do this for the foreseeable future. Yeah. And I love collabing with other YouTubers like yourself, especially fans who are in the NFC West, because like you say, we're a dysfunctional NFC West family, so that's one of the underrated things about being a YouTuber. So I love it.
Yeah, and I think like for me, it's and everyone watching, thanks for watching. We will get back to this game here. Just me and Jay are having a moment here of this year of what it was YouTubing. I think it's added to just a appreciation for the game a little bit more. I care way more about like the O-line and D-line now. And not that I didn't care before, but like I can watch the game and just purely zone in onto what's happening in the trenches, or when you see a single high safety and that Cup is lined up in the slot and you're like, oh, they're gonna blitz a safety, oh, the Cup's dangerous, right? And like just seeing like the little things like that I never really looked for. So it's made me a better fan. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We got thank you, Grandizier, for catching this question here. We got a couple of questions here we're gonna take here. So first one is from Luis Sosa, is will Garoppolo come back next year?
I think this will be the last year where I will say, Jimmy G, he's looking to the right, he's looking to the left. I think unfortunately this will be the last time I say that for all the Jimmy G fans. And I am one of the, I like to think I was one of the biggest Jimmy G fans. I stuck up for him, but also it's important to keep him accountable. But Jimmy G, under no circumstances will he be back next year. I don't think, even if we win the Super Bowl, and that would be a great problem to have, right?
Yeah.
Drafted a rookie quarterback. You still have Jimmy G, but I think it would make most sense to trade Jimmy G because his value will be at its highest. Yep. And there are several teams in the NFL who need a starting quarterback. You know, Pittsburgh, Denver, New Orleans, the Giants. Those are just a few, just to name off the top of my head. But yeah, Jimmy G, we appreciate what you did for the team and what you're continuing to do. But I think it's best to part ways. And this is, you know, the Trey era will begin next year.
Very cool. Yeah. And we got a question. So did I see the 49ers limping off the field in that game against Packers? I think that, injury reports are a little more telling than our eye test during the game. Football is a physical game. I know I've played football in the extreme cold and snow before, and after the game you're like, oh, it hurts, right? Muscles get tighter, and yeah. So I we'll have to stay focused, and it's too early to tell in the week who's in and who's out. We got to see who's practicing, who's getting the rest, and we'll check it out for sure. Edwin is, hey Peo and Jay, here's to an epic game. 2022 Trey area, and some teams need a playoff QB. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is there a particular destination you would like to see Jimmy go?
Part of me would love to see Jimmy G go to a team that just needs a little bit more at the quarterback position, like Pittsburgh. They got a running game. Mm-hmm. They got a pretty good offense. They got a defense. They just need another quarterback, to take them over the top or to add a little bit of value. And obviously a team that would best suit Jimmy G's needs is a team that already has a strong running game, doesn't need Jimmy G to throw for 300 yards a game, throw for more than 40 to 45 times a game. I don't think Jimmy G would thrive in a situation like that. But honestly, hey, whichever team has the highest compensation.
Yeah.
a second and fourth round pick, a first round pick, a few picks. Honestly, I think that's what will happen. I'm sure in John Lynch, heart of hearts, he would love to send Jimmy to, a prospering situation. But at the end of the day, it's about compensation. So if Pittsburgh has the best compensation, or if Denver has the best compensation, because keep in mind, we don't have a first round draft pick this year. Yep. So I don't think we'll get a first round pick for Jimmy, but maybe if we could stockpile a few picks, a third and a fifth, or a second and a fourth, or even if it's just a second round pick, hey, we got to take whatever we can get, because we know Jimmy, if we can't trade Jimmy, he's going to get cut.
Yeah.
So you can't keep a $25 million backup quarterback. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah. We've seen that before. And I believe it was Matt Flynn and Mike Glennon have had that.
Yes.
That kind of money. Yeah.
Yes. But they weren't making that much, but I get your point. Yes.
Yeah, no, they're higher paid. Yeah.
Yeah.
We will get to our score predictions and kind of flow of the game predictions shortly. Everyone watching, I'd love to hear your predictions. Put them in the chat. But I do want to get to this comment here from Niners Sickness, also a Niners fan and YouTube content creator. He's saying, if Jimmy G wins the Super Bowl, I can't see the 49ers trading him. I'm sorry, you just don't trade a Super Bowl type of quarterback for a rookie that's unproven. And we know that Aaron Dilfer back in 2000, I believe. Yeah, so I feel like there is a segment of Niners fans who are like, if Jimmy wins the Super Bowl, he's not going anywhere. What do you think about that?
Hey, Niners Sickness, what's good? Thanks for tuning into the stream, and shout out to all the Niner fans who are also tuning into the stream. Blue True, Livy's World, I see you down there as well. APW Sports, you're not a 49ers fan, but thanks for tuning into the stream. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. Let us know that you guys are enjoying the stream. But, man, that's the great thing about the faithful, the Niner Empire. We all have different opinions, and that's what's great about it. But the reason we have Trey Lance is because of Jimmy G's inability to stay healthy and play at a consistently high level. We traded away all that draft capital. I just can't see Trey Lance sitting for another year. And I would never say that we win games in spite of Jimmy G, but I don't think you could say that Jimmy G has. I'm not even going to say will to win, because Jimmy G, I think he is a leader at times, but he's not the guy. He's not Peyton Manning out here. That's not what we asked Jimmy G to do. Jimmy G has some, he's had some good plays. He's had some bad plays, but the reason this team, this regime, John Lynch and Shanahan, they've already told you how they felt about Jimmy by trading up to draft Trey Lance.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already said it. So even if Jimmy wins the Super Bowl, or I should say the Niners win the Super Bowl, that would be a great problem to have. But I just can't see. I don't care if Jimmy throws for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions in the Super Bowl. His value will never be at its highest. And I think that would be the great time to trade him to the highest bidder.
Okay, well, that will definitely be an off-season storyline to watch with the Niners. Looking forward to that. I'm sorry, everyone, if I missed your comment here, but we will see here. Lots of comments here about Jimmy, what his trade value would be. Ricardo, shout out to you, Ricardo Pete. He's saying it's going to be a close game, 13-16. But Ricardo, who wins? That's a nail biter of a game there. That's a nail biter of a game.
Absolutely.
We got 72-0 for the. That's bold.
Wow.
Bold. That's bold. I'd be okay with it, but it's bold. that's up for all losses in one game.
Yeah. They'd be taking out a lot of frustration on that game.
Okay, yeah. He was one 20-41, Michael. Okay. So we got Edwin saying 30-28. Let's go. All right. Did I say that right? I'm trying to get my California slang right. Is it Frisco? Is that the nickname?
I would say either you say San Francisco or you say the city.
Okay.
If you say Frisco, it depends on who you ask. Some people are cool with saying Frisco. Some people aren't. But if you say the city, that works too.
The city. But there's lots of cities out there.
That's true. But if you're talking about the Bay Area, we know what you're talking about. If you say, hey, I'm going to the city tonight. Oh, you're going to San Francisco.
Okay. Jay, the local education there, because one day I hope you get there.
You can say what would you say it was before? Because there's one term I know you for sure shouldn't say. Don't say San Fran.
Oh, don't say okay.
Yeah, don't say San Fran. Yeah.
Interesting. Do you mind me asking why?
And it's frowned upon.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, well, I'll try my best to say San Francisco.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for the lessons
or Frisco. I think that's fine. You can say Frisco.
I've heard lots of people call it Frisco, so that's
just don't say San Fran. Don't say San Fran.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Yeah. All right. Oh, Roberto Hastings, shout out to you, my friend. There's too kind. I guess if Jimmy G is the MVP of the Super Bowl, it'll be hard to trade. But if we win because of our defense and nothing to do with Jimmy, then bye-bye, Jimmy.
Great point, Niner sickness. But maybe most Niner fans would say, well, that's how we've been winning, with the running game and the defense, and not really because of Jimmy. And like I said, I would never say we're winning in spite of Jimmy, but he's a part of the winning, of us winning games, but he's not the reason. And I think Trey Lance would be a larger part of a reason we win games once he starts. That's what I think.
Okay.
And we know Jimmy, due to his inability to stay healthy, we know he's not a franchise quarterback. And this franchise, when we traded for him in 2017, it left a lot to be desired. We had terrible coaches before we hired Kyle Shanahan. Jimmy G brought hope to this franchise, and I thank him for his time being, in the red and gold. But, I think it's time to move on. And the Shanahan and Lynch regime told us this by drafting Trey Lance.
Okay. Yeah. And like I said, I think out of all the NFC West teams, I think Seattle is by far the most interesting in the offseason of what happens there. But I would say behind that, San Francisco is there. The Cardinals will have some roster moves for sure. The Rams, they're going to have an interesting, in regards to their cap situation. But yeah, there'll be some interesting stuff happening in the NFC West, as always, for sure.
Absolutely. And I hope the Seahawks trade Russell Wilson. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I will probably be a little bit of a fan of when he goes to, as long as it's in the AFC. Like, he would look good in the Steelers uniforms or the Broncos. He'd look great.
Yep. Or the Saints. Great. Yeah.
That's still too close for me.
Oh, yeah. The Saints, yeah, they're in the NFC. You're right.
Yeah.
or Denver.
Denver. Yeah, I'd be okay with it. Yeah. I want to talk to you, and so I always love to ask my guests when we're previewing games together, what do you think the flow of this game is going to be, and what is your score prediction of this game? There's a lot of emotion in this game. There's a lot of stakes in this game, the highest of stakes. Outside of the Super Bowl, the highest of stakes.
That's a great question. And I'm going to go through a little bit of the history of the first two games. So the first game, Stafford throws the pick, and pretty much the rest was history. It was a complete blowout with the 49ers. The second game, man, the Rams really wanted it. They came up 17-0, but, the game comes down to 4 quarters. And, a fifth one, for the last game because it went into overtime. But I think the Rams will come out hot and heavy. I think this could be a revenge game for the Rams. Hopefully we don't see Sean McVay running down the sideline and fist bumping and chest bumping with his players in the end zone. Hopefully we don't see that, because
I don't get why people don't like that. I think that's fun.
That's so disrespectful, as Stephen A. Smith would say. So disrespectful.
Would you love to see Kyle Shanahan do that?
No. It's cool. Okay. It's cool when the players come to the sideline and you dap him up. That's cool. But to no one wants to see your 40 time, man. We don't need to see that. We don't need to see you running down the sideline. That I think that's showing up the other team, don't you think?
I don't know. Like, I think it all depends on the concept. Like, actually, just from what I know of Sean McVay, he generally is excited for his players when they score.
Right. I'm sure, and I'm sure Shanahan and every NFL coach is too, but they don't run down the sideline.
Personally, I would love if that was the thing that every NFL coach after a touchdown ran out. Like, I would love it. Like, let's see Bill Belichick run down
exactly.
Right? Like,
let's see Andy Reid run down there too. Yeah,
Pete Carroll's known for jumping around on the sideline.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit different jumping on the sidelines than a full sprint to the end zone. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah. Hopefully we won't see that. But I think the Rams will come out hot and heavy in this game.
Yeah.
I could see the Rams, scoring a touchdown on their first drive, and then their offense sputters the rest of the game due to DeMeco Ryans, our defensive coordinator, and his adjustments that he makes. I don't think the Rams will be able to run the ball effectively. I know you guys got Cam Akers, you got Sony Michel, you might have Darrell Henderson back, but this Niners run D is definitely one of the most improved units over the last 2 months, only allowing about 3.2 yards per carry. And this defensive line is just something that you see it on tape, and you're like, oh, that defensive line is pretty good. But then when you see them on the field, it's it raises another level. So I think in slowing down the Rams running game, I think the Niners will make this offense one-dimensional. Matt Stafford's going to have to play his best game, I think, of his career in a LA Rams uniform. That's what I think. I think if the Rams win this game, Matt Stafford's going to be the reason. I think Cooper Kupp, he's going to get his catches. OBJ's going to get his catches. But I think Matt Stafford's going to have a hell of a game. And the Rams offensive line is also going to have a hell of a game, because not only have we forced turnovers on Stafford, but we've been able to sack him as well. And we've been able to put pressure on him to hurry his throws. And I think that will repeat itself again. But I think this will be a close game. Yep. I could see the Rams getting some 3-and-outs on the Niners. I could see the Niners getting some 3-and-outs on the Rams offense. I think it'll be back and forth. But I think I don't think you guys have a Deebo Samuel on your team. And I think he will be a deciding factor in this game. And I think our defense, I know you guys got the big names. It's LA. You guys got the stars. But I think overall our defense just has a more complete unit. That's just how I feel. Yeah. Just when you look at all three levels of the defense, I think we're a more complete unit. And I think right now we're playing the best football that all year. Defensively. Offensively, that's not what we're going to do in what we did in Green Bay. I think we're going to score more than 13 points. Yeah. But would you like my score prediction now?
Yeah, I would love it. Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Niners to win, of course. The Niners will win this game. I'm going to say 27-24.
Hey. All right. Have the defibrillator ready for that. I do think this game is actually going to be a little bit different. I think so. Both the Niners and the Rams have not played perfect football. We've had our games where we find a way to win, right? We've heard that terminology a lot for both teams, and I think this game, the Rams and the Niners, actually pretty free game. I think there's going to be maybe one turnover, and that might be the deciding factor of this game. But I think it is going to come down to one score. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game. I'm actually predicting a classic. I'm predicting a Rams-Niners rivalry classic NFC championship game. Now, full disclosure, everyone, I'm not an expert. I am just a super fan of football and especially of the Rams. And so this is coming from my heart. This I don't have this in-depth analysis other than I could see this being a really good game. I do take the history out of it to an extent because this is a new game, new adventure. That's kind of the way I'm looking at this game. I think this game is going to come down to either overtime or the last possession. And I think it's going to be a field, whether it's, Robbie Gould or Matt Gay, whoever is going to have the chance to win this. And I think it's going to be a little bit higher scoring. I'm predicting the Rams to win this 37-34. Yeah. Okay. And like I said, I think Jimmy's actually going to have one of his big games. I think that Stafford's going to have a big game. And yeah, I'm for this game stoked. And I know that, we're going to talk this game to death all week. It's going to be a slow week. It is going to take forever to get there. And I'm all for it because I get to talk football with you and other, fans like you here on YouTube. And I see we're coming close to our time here. But I would love, Jay, if you could, I appreciate talking with you, man. I appreciate your fandom. I celebrate your fandom. As a football fan, I'm glad we can have that in common to the team. But you could give for your chance. What do you got going on?
Absolutely, man. I appreciate the Ramley in the chat. I appreciate the Niner Empire in the chat. And I appreciate you, Pale Time, for allowing me to come on your platform and continue to put out excellent content on your channel, man. I can't wait to link up with you in the future. We'll do some more collabs. But you guys can check me out, Jay in the Bay, IG, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Of course, I talk about the faithful, the Niner Empire. I also will try to get a Rams guest on my channel this week. And I will have a pregame post-game show talking about the game, whether we win or lose. And yeah, man, I'm excited for this game. I'm excited for the offseason because I know football will end with the Super Bowl, but for a content creator, hey, that's when you're still pushing out content, still pushing out videos. So there's a lot of football to talk about. But thank you for allowing me to get on your platform tonight. I appreciate it.
For sure. Yeah. Do you have any plans for the off season yet? But I know draft coverage, but
yeah, free agency, draft, just latest 49ers news. Because there will be players that will be released. There will be players that will be getting contract extensions, possibly Deebo Samuel, Nick Bosa, our left guard, Lincoln Tomlinson. So there's going to be a lot of news coming out. And shout out to everyone in the chat, and also shout out to Grandizer12 for putting my link in the chat, man. I appreciate that. You are very, very kind. And yeah, man, I can't wait. Looking forward to the game.
Wait. Have I been pronouncing his name wrong my entire? Because I've always said Grandizer 12. Is it Grandizer 12?
It could be Grandizer. It could be Grandizer.
I'm gonna have to message him private. He is the greatest mod ever. I really appreciate him so much. Anyway, Jay, stick around. We'll chat just a little bit afterwards. And if you're watching this right here live, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with these two, super fans. And I hope you have a great night. There's going to be lots more streams and videos for, myself this week, and definitely with Jay in the Bay. It's going to be a great week. Enjoy it, everyone. Love talking football. And we will see you in the next video.